Bedrijven kunnen meer met de wereld dan kinderen.
Die kunnen ideeën echt uitvoeren, die hebben invloed erop.
Daarom is het belangrijk dat we nu met bedrijven en andere mensen ervoor zorgen dat het beter gaat met de aarde.
Beslissingen van organisaties zijn van grote invloed op de omgeving en het leven van mensen. Nu en in de toekomst. Juist ook van kinderen. Daarom is het nodig en logisch om kinderen een gelijkwaardige stem te geven. Participatie is ook hun recht, zoals staat in het Verdrag van de Rechten van het Kind. Dat is waar de Raad van Kinderen over gaat. Een initiatief van de Missing Chapter Foundation en UNICEF Nederland.
De wereld van nu is niet de wereld van gisteren, laat staan de wereld van morgen. Maar hoe die eruit ziet, besluiten we nu. Maar laten we wel zijn, volwassenen hebben niet alle antwoorden. Dus hebben we kinderen nu hard nodig om mee te denken.
Met de Raad van Kinderen hebben kinderen structureel een stem binnen organisaties. Iedereen wint. Kinderen omdat ze willen meedenken over de wereld om hen heen en daar een platform voor krijgen. Besluitvormers omdat ze nieuwe denkrichtingen leren ontdekken die ze hard nodig hebben. En leraren omdat ze geïnspireerd worden door de creatieve denkkracht van hun leerlingen over echte maatschappelijke vraagstukken.
Kinderen die denken veel jonger en daar bedoel ik mee denken veel vrolijker. Wij denken niet van, ja, maar er zit ook altijd een nadeel achter. Wij denken van, zo kan het.
De kinderen verdienen serieuze commitment. Een organisatie wordt voor 3 jaar gekoppeld aan een school en de Raad van Kinderen wordt geïnstalleerd. Samen doorlopen ze ieder schooljaar 6 stappen. Een organisatie identificeert een dilemma. Dit gebeurt onder meer aan de hand van de Children's Rights and Business Principles. Opgesteld door UNICEF en haar partners. Deze 10 richtlijnen bieden een kader om kinderen en hun levenssfeer te respecteren en te beschermen. Vervolgens presenteert de organisatie het dilemma aan hun Raad van Kinderen. De organisatie deelt alle informatie die zij denken dat belangrijk is. De kinderen gaan op onderzoek, begeleid door de leraar. Ze bekijken het dilemma van alle kanten en bedenken zelf wat ze willen weten en met wie ze willen spreken. Wat tot verrassende adviezen leidt. De Raad van Kinderen presenteert haar adviezen aan de Raad van Bestuur of directie van de organisatie. De kinderen worden geprikkeld hun gedachten achter de adviezen te delen. De volwassenen luisteren en stellen verdiepende vragen. De organisatie denkt na over de adviezen en laat de kinderen weten wat ze ermee gaan doen. Ook waarom iets niet zou kunnen. De kinderen, leraren en betrokkenen binnen de organisatie kijken terug, maar juist ook vooruit. Ze gaan in gesprek over het volgende dilemma.
Het is echt ongelooflijk hoe je door de kinderen dat je op een frisse manier tegen issues aankijken die in de supermarkt spelen.
Sometimes we much too quickly go to all the reasons why it can't be done, rather than trying it out in small scale and then see if it works and make it bigger.
Voor organisaties en scholen die serieus met de toekomst bezig zijn, zou het aanstellen van een Raad van Kinderen binnen hun organisatie een logische standaard moeten zijn. Luistert u naar de Raad van Kinderen? Kijk op raadvankinderen.nl.
I'd like to start with an exercise. This is about health after all. And I'd like you to do the following. I'd like you to go like this. You look really weird. No, keep it up. And for 5 seconds, I want you to register the feeling of looking like this. Feel it. And now go like this. You see, this is what adults do. They go like this. No, I'd like you to do it again. A room filled with kids would do it in one time. And now go big. Yes. That's it. When I started the Missing Chapter Foundation, and over the years, that feeling is about being liberated, just like this. Now, an adult would get very uncomfortable with this happening. If you have confidence that something happens, it gets fixed. He was not planned. Thank you. But this is what it is, being liberated. Now, 2 weeks ago, I presented a book with the title Happily Ever After. And the subtitle is more important. Nelly Kroes was one of the people contributing to that book. The subtitle is, and this is the basic premise of my thinking, the subtitle is Reading Aloud Book for Adults Who've Lost the Plot. That's not Nelly, by the way. That's the basic premise of my thinking. We adults, we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot, however lovely they are, but we need pink socks to have a good conversation with each other. We've lost the plot. A child would not understand that, no matter how lovely they are, and nothing against that. I'd like to focus on 3 key insights in the area of health that children have given us. And we do a lot of work with children for adults who've lost the plot. There's just 3 examples of those insights. One is about terminology. The second thing is about behavior. And the third is about together. Terminology. It's a lovely word. Many people, or some people may know, I'm a stickler for language. Take the word hospital in Dutch. Hospital is ziekenhuis. Children in all of our kids' councils doing things about health, they say, why do we call it a ziekenhuis, a sick home, if we try and make people better? If the attitude with the word of ziekenhuis, it takes a lot of effort to change your mindset into actually saying, no, we're not a sick home, but we're a healthy home. And we're actually here to make people healthy. The same with healthcare. Healthcare, in essence, we call it healthcare, but actually it's sick cure, what we do. We cure illnesses, but that's not what health is all about. Health is about being healthy and not curing the sick. Another word is health, in its essence. We have dissected the word health, gezondheid, with children. And children say, it means nothing to me. So all of you working on programs for children and for adults, remember, health, does that make you feel happy when you think about it? Health. So we asked children, what's the better word for healthy eating, for example? Good. Good. Good is a value that we live every day. It's an emotion that everybody understands. It's a smiley with a happy face. Happy and good eating is much better than healthy eating. That's the terminology that children give to us. I could go on, but just a few insights. And perhaps you have terminology in your endlessly intellectual and highly stimulating policy documents, strategies, and so on. But perhaps think of the wording, and do they really express what you want to achieve, not what you think is in the heads of people. People make decisions with their hearts. Behavior, the second thing. On behavior, the first sentence that adults always use is, behavioral change is really difficult. I get depressed just thinking about that. And if everybody says behavioral change is really difficult, it becomes really difficult. That's how we think. Like the boy said in the movie, we always say it's about impossibilities. If you skip that first line, just think about it, how action-oriented you actually become. And then you say, let's skip that notion and take the attitude of children and say, well, let's try and do it. Try it next time when you think behavioral change is very difficult. We work on a program on energy, where we've taken exactly that. We now have 50,000 kids in the Netherlands taking their entire families to shower instead of 9 minutes, 5 minutes. Do you think I'm using the sentence, behavioral change is very difficult, to get them into action? No, we just do it. And they learn along the way. Take sugar intake. We're now working on a program, on an alliance of partners who are open-minded and saying sugar intake. We always say it's very difficult to get people to reduce their sugar intake. What if we skip that? And what if we say, instead of focusing on what they have to reduce, we have to seduce them into something that they do like? Hence my second gadget. Mijn appelbakje. That travels with me every time. If I take and prepare this in the morning, I am absolutely sure that I will not be seduced to buy all the stuff that I love. I love peanuts, I love chocolate, I love cheese, all the things that are all bad for you if you take them in too many quantities. This isn't gadget. To be before the seduction of the bad, you need to be seduced into something that's good. Pretty simple. I didn't come up with it. It's children who have this kind of logic. The third one is together. When you think about it, one of the trends in many areas, including health, is things like self-reliance, self-determination, managing your own health. I think we're being sent, and we're sending ourselves down the wrong path. Because it means alone. It means just me. But when you listen to children about health, about energy, about the things that we need to get into gear with together, why are we using words and notions where you're sending people down the path and saying you need to do it yourself? Every child will tell you, and adults may understand this in 100 years, doing things together is a lot more fun. There's not one person sitting in this room. I'd be a fool, or we'd have a great conversation with my pink socks. No, we're sitting here together. And that's the notion of doing things together. So when you look at, for example, the way to stimulate healthy eating, but also exercise, we tend to do our programs in target groups, because that's easy. Remember the glasses. I see one target group and I see another. But if you go like this, you say, hey, wait a minute, all these target groups, no, he can maybe help the other person. So the notion of together, remember, is absolutely crucial, that you can think of target groups, but think perhaps not in target groups, but in change agents. For us, children are not a target group. They are a change agent that you have to empower to get their entire family to be seduced to other behavior. Does that sound logical? As simple as can be, and the logic comes by listening to people who have a different tone of voice, who have a different understanding, and who can see the things all in between the lines, and we step over them with a huge leap, and we forget all about the key issues that need to be looked at, and where precisely the emotion and the action is. And health is about emotion, and it's about action. The word awareness makes my hair rises. Why? Because it's the action that we want to achieve. And so the traditional knowledge, insight behavior is gone. It's get into action, and along the way you learn. That's what the kids do. I will close by actually saying indeed that we're now building a coalition with people who understand this kind of thinking. People who are daring to let go of their preconceived notions of having to look like this to the world, in target groups, in awareness. No, we have huge issues in the area of health or in sustainability. We need to get into action. There's a sense of urgency. We can't keep on telling people that obesity is a huge issue in society. We need to get into action and do something about it. And the Alliance's goal is indeed to tackle obesity through this kind of thinking, through a program that is easy, hence my appelbakje, to be seduced into the right things, and not to talk about health, but to talk about good, and to get to the stomach and the inner emotions of the people we want to change. The magic, children are not the target group, but we empower them to be the change agent in their families. I don't come up with the ideas. We do it in full co-creation with the children who understand the journey of somebody who is alive. And they understand it better because they are liberated. To close off, if you want to remember two things about what I've just said, if you understand anything at all, just two things. Easy does it. Next time you develop your strategies on more patient-focused. How logical is it to be patient-driven, not focused? That's like this, patient-driven. That's a different nuance. Next time when you do that, next time you develop your strategies on accessible healthcare, please remember that feeling that you had for 5 seconds by going from this to this. And not only you will be liberated, but the impact that your strategies and your policies will make will hopefully liberate the world. Thank you.